The university, Chinese University of Hong Kong. What do your parents say? Are they worried about your safety when you go?
Of course, and they will keep calling me and then asking me where am I. Yeah.
And you take the calls and you tell them you're safe.
Actually, most of the time I cannot take the call.
And you'll continue for 2 weeks and see what the chief executive says, right? Now, the chief executive wants to talk. She had a meeting last week with some people. She says, we want to have a dialogue platform. Anybody can come and talk to her. She used the word humble. She's humble. She and her officials want to listen to what people want to say. Before she had this meeting, this dialogue with some community leaders, including university vice chancellors and so on, former government officials and so on, she approached your university among a few others, right? Your university was the first place, along with a couple of other universities, that she approached the first time ever and says, come, let's talk. You refused. Why?
Because the author is in a very closed-door manner, and then the government insists without any prerequisites to hold this kind of meeting, and then refuse to invite all of the student unions leaders, but instead picked
your Chinese University of Hong Kong and a couple of other, I think Baptist University.
UST.
Right. So, but you turned her down. She said, come talk. You say it was closed door, but then finally she said, well, let's open it. Let's do it openly. And no preconditions, let's talk. You still said no. Why?
We have two prerequisites. One is to have an open meeting, and then another is to stop the prosecution of the protesters. Yeah.
But there are over 700 of them now. If you stop the prosecution, then you're breaking the rule of law. There is rule of law in Hong Kong, which you want to protect, right?
But actually, many of the legal professionals have mentioned that according to the basic law and current statute, it is possible for the CE as well as the government to stop the prosecution manner and
grant an amnesty to everybody.
The law.
You mean an amnesty to everybody, right?
No, it is to stop the prosecution and, to stop the investigation process.
Okay, so in other words, just say, everybody, we will not charge you, and that's the end of the matter.
Yeah.
Is that really possible, Eve? Do you think if the government did that, wouldn't that be undermining our rule of law? Because some of them did commit pretty violent crimes.
But actually, I think that according to what the legal professionals and also professors said, it is possible for the government to do so. They have the power to do so. But actually, at the same time, if the government continue to prosecute the protesters, how can we start the dialogue with the government?
Now, when you say don't charge any of them, but some of those people actually were violent, how can you not charge them?
But actually, I would say they are forced to do so. They are not really...
Do you support that? You say they're forced to do so. Do you support that kind of violence?
I would not say I support any of the acts of the protesters, but I would say I understand why they are doing so. I understand the rationale behind. No one would like to be violent. No one is born to be violent, especially for the teenagers. They can just stay at home and then without risking their life, without risking their career.
Why don't you do that instead of going out there?
All of the teenagers will be scared, but actually they are still doing so because they think they are something they worth to fight for, and then they are thinking these kind of values really mean to that. They think that this kind of values are more important than their life.
But people say, Eve, that you're fighting not for your freedoms, you're not fighting for a future generation, you're fighting for independence. That's what some people are saying. And foreign forces are helping people like you fight for the independence of Hong Kong. Are you fighting for independence or you're fighting for your freedoms?
I believe that there are no conflicts between the two. And then I believe that among all the protesters, there are certainly some of them are advocating Hong Kong independence.
That'll never happen, you know that.
while some protesters do not really agree with Hong Kong independence.
Do you agree with Hong Kong independence?
I think it is one of the way for us to have a better...
It's not a way out because it's not going to happen. You know that.